Hi everyone, thanks for joining me at ADC Gather. This talk is about community and sharing in native audio apps without the browser overhead. This is quite a mouthful and probably poses many questions. How did we get here? Let's take a step back and recap essentially where I'm coming from. What led to native communities in audio applications? I was always wondering, why do we still sell synthesizers as a whole, even though in-app purchases and freemium models are everywhere nowadays? There are some subscription models, but those come with their own drawbacks. Why don't we sell presets instead of the synthesizer? So if we sold presets, people wouldn't have to cash out a couple $100 in the beginning. You just have a very low entry barrier, jump into the synthesizer, and in the end, you can selectively unlock single presets. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? So this would pose the next question: where do these presets come from? Maybe they should come from the community. Maybe it's just not just the manufacturer creating these presets. They should come from the community. Everybody should be able to share their presets. And if those presets are sold, so if you don't sell the synths, but just the presets instead, shouldn't the people that actually create the presets get a share, even if it's just people from the community? And the next question that's going to be there is, how do we handle DRM? So if we don't sell the synth doesn't have copy protection. If we sell presets, they need to have some kind of copy protection, so you can just share them around on file systems, file sharing platforms. So we have two goals now: preset sharing and value participation. What are the bare essentials we need for these two goals? Well, we need to have the users inside of our synthesizer. But if they want to be able to share their presets, they need to be right there. We need to somehow figure out, what is a preset going to cost? Is it going to be a fixed price? Is it going to be something dependent on the complexity of the preset, on its popularity, etc.? How's that going to be? And there must also be a way to share the revenue of a preset between the author, because we want to give something to the author, and the manufacturer. Then there are many other questions coming up. What if multiple authors contribute to one preset, for example? So a preset could be a conglomeration of different authors. So the revenue would have to be split between them. Or what happens if a preset is based on another preset and somebody shares it as his own preset? Is the original author going to get a share? So we're opening a can of worms here. So let's look at the preset sharing and value participation goals one by one. What ingredients are required to enable preset sharing? So we need a network infrastructure for sharing. We need some kind of server that hosts presets. The synths must know how to communicate with that server and how to get the presets. We need a way, as said before, to figure out pricing and distribution of the prices. And of course, we need countermeasures against unauthorized file sharing. So essentially, if you sell presets, they shouldn't be. They need some kind of digital rights management. And would you buy a car without driving it first? There needs to be some kind of way for people to actually use presets before they actually purchase them. So you might make productions, you produce something, you play your preset in your DAW, and you want to be able to hear the sound exactly in that in the way that you want to play it. You don't want to just hear a static preview. So one way to enable this would be audio watermarking, where you have some little noise play in the preset, unless you unlock it. But you can use it completely in all aspects. So second goal, participation, value participation. Even if we have all the ingredients from before, what else is required for value participation? We need a unit of value. In this case, it might be something credits, like an in-app currency. We need a way to exchange credits and currency. So we need to be able to buy credits somehow. And if somebody earns credits, we need to know that they earned the credits, and we need to be able to pay out for those earned credits. And of course, authorities also want value participation. So we need to be able to transparently document all the transactions that are done, that are being undertaken. So what are the results when we combine all of these ingredients? First and foremost, the users must be inside of your synth. They can't be outside anymore. Users need to be able to upload and download presets. And if we do the entire thing where we put users into the synth, wouldn't it be nice if they were able to interact, if they could write something to each other, if they could see each other, maybe, yeah, do all these community things. The picture becomes quite clear now. We need to bring a real community into the synthesizer. All right, so communities and synthesizers. How is this currently handled? Usually communities are not in the synth itself. They're somewhere outside. They're on forums, on Discord. They're just segregated everywhere. If you want more presets than what's inside of what is shipped with the synthesizer, you have to find it somewhere else. Or maybe you can find some preset packs. You can find some stuff on file sharing, maybe. There's usually no DRM, so it's out. It's the wild. It's out in the wild. There's no direct connection between users also. You don't really know anything. So what we want to do, like the current landscape looks like there's an island with a synthesizer, and there are many communities around it, all segregated in different places. We want to go from there to the synthesizer, which actually has the community integrated inside. So how do we accomplish this? We could use a sledgehammer to crack a nut. We just embed a browser into our app. From my experience, it's quite heavy. It's awkward. It has cross-platform chores. And if we already are in the C++ realm, why do we have to go to JavaScript? It doesn't seem perfect to me. Plus, we would have to maintain a central server, get our heads wrapped around the entire web stack, PHP and Nginx and whatever. It's costly, it's a lot to maintain, it's complex. Or we could try to outsource a community to a third-party platform, but usually third-party platforms never quite fit the use case perfectly. Plus, the users are still not in your app, they're somewhere else. It's segregated again. Nothing of that seems to be feasible or very good. So what if we approach this differently? Imagine we would build our own framework and adhere to 3 design principles and see where this gets us. First and foremost, let's stick to what we know, at least in my case, C++. There's not going to be any browser bloat. There's no friction between different languages, no strange tickling of our taste buds in the end. Secondly, we don't want our community to leave our beloved synth. It should be in there. Let's keep it within our comfortable environment. And lastly, if we like to use it, others may also like to use it. So keep it modular to cater for different use cases, for different community. Have it white label so it can adapt to different styles. So if we want to support multiple communities, it might be a good idea to wrap communities. So it might be called domains, which is a lightweight infrastructure to wrap an entire community, essentially. It encapsulates all the information you need for a community in domain configuration files. So essentially, a domain configuration file tells information about the features and about discovery and communication. So there are 2 parts of the configuration files. There's a server and a client part. And there's a dedicated native server executable. It's just a single app It doesn't run any Apache, or you don't need any web stack behind it. It's just a single app that you can run in a data center, or you can run it on your own computer, wherever. And you load in a server configuration file. And in the synthesizer, you load the client part of the server configuration file. And this is all you need in order to communicate. So this way, a synthesizer can communicate with a server. It's a very specialized server. It's not not for everything. It's just built especially for this use case. And since we're loading client parts into the app, we can support multiple domains. So, for example, you might want to have a preview domain environment that has some features built in that are not currently released, just to not interfere with your live domains. All right, so we got the domains out of the way as a means of encapsulating communities. What about users? How do we picture users? We all love juggling passwords. We like to forget them. Requirements usually change. They need to be more complicated. In the best case, we should be changing them every now and then. And of course, we should never use the same password at many places at the same time, right? It's a hassle. It's not very easy. You need password managers and whatever. But there's a way to avoid all of that. Instead of using username and password, you can just use cryptographic identities. It's kind of like the same way as cryptos work. So you have your 24 words as your backup recovery phrase, and everything else is done through the identity itself. So you can have one identity, and if you maybe want to use multiple synths or enter multiple domains, you can just use that one identity. You don't need to create users for all the domains and stuff. You just enter with one identity and you're all set. And all the passwords that are necessary to enter domains or to host domains, etc., they're just all derived from the identity. So you don't need to care about this. It's secure, it's portable, and it's simple. And the great side effect of this entire thing is that we don't need to collect emails for verification or password reset links. It's the best data protection is if you don't have data in the first place. The only thing is that users just shouldn't lose their 24 words, because otherwise their identities are gone. All right, so we have domains and identity. The next ingredient is the presets. This is what's all about, right? How do we handle our presets? Should we simply exchange binary or JSON files? Probably not the best way to do this, because there's no DRM, at least not inherently. And there's also no inherent way of distributing earnings. We need something better, so we came up with a approach that I call structured content. Essentially, if content is modeled on key value pairs, such as presets, for example, you can register all these presets and their parameters together with the ranges, and you can give a weight to each parameter inside of a model. And then there's a certain dedicated parser which actually works with the models and does everything else. So once you registered all the parameters in the model, all the distribution calculations, etc., are done from there. The other side of the model is the configuration. This is determining how the pricing is calculated for a preset that is based on a model, and how the earnings are distributed between all the authors. If sub-presets, so essentially the model is hierarchical. So you can have sub-presets in the model, and each of these presets can have a different author. And if you want to unlock an entire preset, then all the authors, all of the sub-presets are being rewarded as well. And the way these rewards are distributed is determined via the configuration file. And there's also the other use case where somebody downloads a preset of somebody else and changes it a little bit and then uploads it as his own preset. And in this case, we want to be able to reward the original author as well. So if you think of the preset space as a landscape, somebody might put their flag into the landscape, and where you put your flag, you have a claim zone around. And if somebody else puts a flag in the vicinity of your own claim zone, then his claim zone is going to overlap your claim zone. And in this case, the second preset is going to have to leak some of its earnings to your preset. And the exact way how this is calculated can be configured via the configuration files. So we have structured content, which is key value pairs, but we also have other content, which might be, for example, a profile of a user or a blog entry or pages or all these, or maybe just a message in a conversation. To do this, I actually started writing a C++ Markdown parser. And this turned into a fully fledged what you see is what you get editor that supports widgets, views, scripting, expressions, and there's still many more things to come. So it's quite easy to actually build pages with that. And the background is just text, but it's being passed into interactive content. And it can also include gated sections. So for example, you might create an advanced tutorial where maybe some of the inputs are being behind a paywall. Or you could, for example, make a list of presets, your best pick of presets, and if somebody wants to see it, they have to remove the paywall behind it. So yeah. The next question is, so if this framework is built in such a way that it's encapsulated and that it's easy to use somewhere else, how hard would it be? How hard would it be to integrate it into other apps? So it's done in a way where the framework wraps your UI. You don't have to do any changes to your UI. Your UI stays the same way it is, and the framework just attaches to it on the side, as you will see in a second in the live demo. You can brand it with your fonts, colors, and spacings, and the most work is going to be to register the actual parameter model. And of course, track the changes as well if these are changed. And then there are also callback mechanisms. So, for example, if you want to have a button somewhere in a blog post, and clicking on this button should trigger some kind of functionality. So enough talking. Let's have a look at the system in action. So let's say we have our synth here. We built a little preset, and we gave it a profile, wrote some text about it, and now we look at the preset browser to see what else is in there. So this side on the right side, that's the community part of it. You can make it visible or not. And let's see, for example, here Stefan has uploaded a preset that's called Shimmer. I'm going to load that and play around with it. So maybe I like this preset, but there's some awful noise in the background, right? It's quite loud as well. So let's say we want to remove this noise in the background. We can go to unlock, and now we can see, okay, it cost 93 credits to unlock it. Let's see how many credits I actually have. Let's see, can I afford it? Okay, I can see I have 200 credits on my account. So what I'm going to try is unlock. And okay, this was a little bug here. Usually this lock should have opened and the noises should have gone away. Let's have a look at another example. So essentially, I'm going to load this preset again to remove the background noise. So let's see what else we have here. We can go to the home page. We can see we have some blog entries. There's a release note. There's an artist spotlight, review roundups. By the way, you can always expand the community, make it big, and see it in full screen. There's also a learn section. Let's have a look what happens here. You can click to go. So here's a little quick start tutorial. And it asked me to load the initial patch at first. So I'm just going to click this. And it loads the initial patch. Now we have kind of a boring patch. And the first thing it asked us to do is to change the modulator to the envelope mode. Which one is modulator 1? Let's have a look. Maybe if I'm here and I change it, was that correct? No, it was not correct. It looks like if I change this one to envelope, let's check it. Yes, I've set the envelope. So it's just an example on how you can do interaction. Now it asks me to higher the pitch by 12 semitones. It should be 12 up, so I go to the pitch dial, put it on 12, and now the pitch is correct. This is just a very small and easy example. It can be much more elaborate, of course. Another thing here might be some discussion board. So we can see we have like a forum-like discussion. We can also make it big to see it a bit better. Let's go in here. And you can see we have some somebody asking something about a baseline with a grid. And we can just write a reply. Bases always need speakers. And post this. Bam. So it's in here. And we can go back up, for example, see the messages. We can look at his message and say, okay, maybe we give it a thumbs up, and then it gets the thumbs up tag. And all of this is being built with the editors. So for example, if we want to look at this homepage, we can go into the pages and look at the homepage. Let's make it big. Let's go and edit it. And here's the editor for the homepage, where you have these different things which you can lay out your content with. It's quite flexible. But I think we might be low on time. I'm switching back to the presentation. All right, so we've seen the presentation so far. So this is a way to bring communities into the app. It's purely inside of your app. It's nothing, you don't need any external frameworks or other technologies. It's very lightweight. It keeps the infrastructure quite simple. The identities allow you to go to different domains and exchange domains without all these password hassles and all these things. The credit system drives fairness because it distributes the credits between the authors. And there's also other ways you can use credits for unlocking gated content, etc. And the integration is not too much effort. Essentially, it's just 3 header files. It's a model view controller pattern. And I guess the biggest integration hassle would be registering the models for your... Yes, registering the models, exactly. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. See you next time.